Guys, Kev here, and I just want to do a quick review on the Surge Slip 7. So, I'm actually about to try to Loctite it for, I think, the fourth time. I tried glue twice. Super glue, that didn't work. And then I tried Loctite, that didn't work. So I just cleaned everything with alcohol. I got a little mini KPL Q-tip in there with alcohol. Just trying to get out any possible oil that could be, causing it not to cure. I think maybe it's just such a small screw that the Loctite can't hold. I don't know. I let it sit for 2 days, so I'm not sure. I don't have humidity issues in this house like I did with the other one. So we should be good, but not sure. So let me just put it together. And we'll talk about the knife, and then I'll Loctite it because I'm going to want to open and close it a bunch of times. You guys know me. I love this knife. Something you guys need to learn about me is I can love a knife very, very much and still have issues with it, right? There's a nitpicky thing I have on this knife about the pivot, but it doesn't mean it's not objectively a fantastic knife. It does come with these little Allen keys, T6 and T8, or maybe they're both T6, because let's check that, because that would be weird, wouldn't it? They both look to be T6s, so T6, T8. Okay, so I don't know why they do this. They give you two, and it's a T6 on one side, T8 on the other. There's no T8 on this knife. That's what makes me think Boker made these, or their factory. A lot of people have been saying they think Real Steel made these. I think Real Steel makes his locking knives. I think the slip joints he uses Boker's factory, but I could be wrong. Maybe Serge can tell us if he watches this. I doubt it, but he may. But anyway, it's cool because it comes with that, and then it comes with a little bit of extra hardware. So if you're like me and you're constantly taking the screws out and shit, you might need those eventually, right? And then you have a little cutout for the knife and everything. I'm not sure which way this goes in, but it goes in sort of like that. And then it slides in here. Very nice little box for a $140 knife. That's really the thing here is this is a $140 knife. It's in M390 blade steel. Let me test this out. I have a new iPhone. I got the 15 Pro Max, so it has 5 times zoom. I want to see if it does help us a little bit. So there's 2 times. You can see the M390. Let's try 5. Look at that. Yes. What I was hoping was I could get closer shots like this for thumbnails, because I like to do those close-up shots, and I usually can't get that close. But this is pretty damn close. That looks pretty slick, too. So that's 5 times zoom. I also bought I realized that I wanted to do some videos on the phone. So how do I do that? Because I use it as a camera. So I bought another one. This is my old phone. This is the 13 Pro. And I'm sending this back because they're giving me like $1,000 trade-in or something, and it seems stupid to keep that. But I bought one on eBay, a 12 Pro, just to use as like a camera, backup camera or something. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, you guys let me know if you see a difference in the quality of the video. I know it's still an iPhone, but, be good to know if the camera's better on this one. So M390 titanium scales, obviously heavily acid washed and blasted and tumbled on everything, which normally is not my style. You guys know me. I am a very big proponent of the belt satin and, and like a smooth finish. I don't really love, acid washed, stone wash stuff all that much. I know a lot of people do. but I don't. But this one just has a uniqueness to it. It has that surge uniqueness, and I really like that. It does come with a clip on here that I removed. I was carrying it in the slip without the clip the whole time, and that's mostly because as a lefty, this is where my thumb lands when I operate the knife, and it was slipping and like I could feel it moving around when I was doing that. Now it really doesn't feel that bad. So maybe it was just an adjustment. Like I've handled this knife so much now that I have it down how to hold it. And so with the clip on there, it's not bad. So I might rock it with the clip. But I did commission a slip from Duty, Kevin Duty over at Duty's Daggers. Check out his channel. I commissioned a slip for it from him because he has one of these and really likes it. And I figured he'd have the dimensions and everything. And, you know, this is cool, but I use this slip for a lot of stuff. Whenever I have a knife that I don't have a dedicated slip for, this is for that. So I try to always get a dedicated slip. The walk and talk is phenomenal on this slip 7. It really has a nice, strong spring to it. You can one-hand it, but it does take some force to get it to pop down. I don't like doing this move because I never know where my thumb needs to, or my fingers need to go. But if you can get past, I guess, this line right here, you should be safe. And this knife actually does not have a spring that pops out the back, so it should be easier to do this with. I don't know, I feel safer doing it with my index finger up here. And I also don't have super long hands, or fingers, so it's harder for me to do that thumb move. But yeah, I mean, you can hear it, you can see it just snapping and popping all over the place. It's really one of the best walk and talks I've felt. Next to a Jack Wolf, I mean, this is on par with a Jack Wolf. That's how good it is, and those are the best, in my opinion. Centering is hit or miss. It depends on how tight I have the pivot. I've been messing with the pivot a lot, but you know, you can just push it around basically. So you can get it centered, and then you open and close it, you know, and it pops off a little bit, and it's a slip joint, so it doesn't bother me all that much. But you can center it. The biggest thing about this knife that I would say is different from your traditional slip joints is the spring. And I actually did not cover that in the unboxing because I was just like, I don't know. I guess I just was so focused on that pivot and everything. I didn't even think about the spring. But you can see this spring sits down into the scales, where traditionally a back spring will sit flush with the scales, and it'll be flush in all 3 positions. So right now it's flush with the scales. Put it in the half stop, it's flush with the scales. You put it in the open position and it's flush with the scales. So that's traditionally how it works, and you can see that spring actually pops up out of the frame. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me do the zoom again. So that spring pops up and out of the frame and then back down, right? So it actually has no resistance on the sides in that area, right? You see it? Can just freely come out of the frame. Well, this knife, it doesn't have that because it sits down in the handle like that, right? When you open it, it actually is coming up, but it's not exiting the frame. It's all within the frame. So I've noticed a lot of gunk. There's a lot of black juice that comes off of it. I actually cleaned it last night, and then I've maybe opened and closed it like 10 times since then, and you'll see, oops, sorry. There's just like this black goop that comes off. And this is the same stuff that you see on any slip joint when you're breaking it in, right? And it's essentially just metal on metal contact. You have that steel spring riding against the titanium on both sides, right? So not only is that spring contending with the M390 blade up here, it's also rubbing against the side. So I would say this knife right here is going to be more prone to breaking in over time than any other slip joint I've had, which to me is a good thing because it comes out of the box pretty much fantastic when it comes to walk and talk. As long as you have it a little bit loose, that's the one nitpick I have on this knife, is you had to have a substantial amount of blade play to get this kind of walk and talk. But as that spring is just wearing down the titanium on the sides, it's polishing a track essentially on both sides, right? And you can see I think it's got that stonewashing in there on both sides. Yeah, the scales are stonewashed all around. So it needs to just polish those surfaces in there. And as that's happening, it's going to get smoother and smoother. And then that walk and talk is going to be able to occur with a tighter pivot. So now, after a few days, after like a week and a half of owning this knife, I can tighten that pivot down. Let me just check. We have very minimal play. Let's see if I can tighten this side. Which side is it? I never know which side it is. Let's see if we have play. So we have no play right now on this knife. And it's still close to having that hoppy spring. Now, it is tight, obviously. But I was trying to Loctite it in this position so that as that spring wears, this is just going to get better and better and better, to the point where now I can loosen this just a touch, right? That was just like, and it already starts bouncing a little more. Let's give it just a touch more. Pop. And there, it's starting to really pop now. And if I really wrench on it, there's a little bit of play. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to escape the play completely on this knife, but we can get it to where, for me, it's perfectly fine. That's acceptable. The problem I'm having is just I can't Loctite the damn thing. It just keeps loosening. No matter what I do, it ends up loosening to where there's more play. So I'm just going to try again. I'm actually sending this off to my buddy Casey over at Knives Fast. So I may actually I don't know what I want to do. I kind of want to Loctite it so that he gets it, and hopefully by then it's cured and it's fine. But I also want him to experience the really good walk and talk. So it's a balance, right? With slip joints, you have to decide what you want. If you want it to have that super bouncy walk and talk, you might have to have a little bit of play. If you just want it to be solid as a rock, then you have to tighten it, and you might not have the best walk and talk. I like a middle ground on this knife. So like right now it's really good, and there's just the slightest play. Now you can see the blade kind of wobbling in the handle. See it moving? I mean, I'm wrenching on it. Most people, I think, would say that I'm going a little too strong on that. So that's my only kind of gripe on this knife, and that's really not that much of a gripe. I think it's just going to keep breaking in. I'm just hoping eventually this pivot will stay put and we'll be good to go. I don't know if I could try, like, maybe I have a microscopic O-ring or something that I could fit in there, but it's really one of the best slip joints I've handled. It's definitely one of the best this year. The Vanish here was really the hot ticket for me early on this year, Kvist Vanish. I still have 2 of them, and I still love it. I do. It's a little guy. It's a fun little slip joint. You can one hand and everything. I do recommend the black wash version because you can grip it much better you can just grip it up here. Versus the stonewash one, at least for me, I have to use the hole. And the hole is in a bit of an odd place for pulling a slip joint. It's not really a nail neck location. So up here is better. But the spring on these is lighter. It's good walk and talk. It's just got a lighter spring, which, I do prefer a stronger spring. And this guy's sort of got a good balance. I mean, it's not that much bigger, right? It's very comfortable in the hand. It's super slim, and then excellent walk and talk with a stronger spring, and it has a good blade on it. I've cut cardboard, I've cut open packages, I've cut paper, I've cut a bunch of random stuff with it, and it's never felt like it wasn't sharp enough. I really like the strong spring in the sense that you could put a little pressure back here and you're not going to close it on yourself. Obviously, you know, you don't want to do that. You want to kind of hold your thumb right here if you're going to be cutting through stuff a little bit stronger. But yeah, it's a fantastic slip joint. It has a stop pin in there. So, but even with that, the acoustics are not that muted. That usually, you know, knocks the acoustics down a little bit, but not on this one. And you can rock it without the clip. I just took the clip off and put these screws back in, and you could probably take the clip off and just put the top screw in if you wanted to and leave that one open, whatever you like. You can fit other clips on here. If you watch my unboxing, I put my CWF micro click milled titanium clip on, which worked, but it was a little bit too shallow carry for me. But it looked fantastic. So you could get something like that. I'm sure a bunch of clip patterns match up with this. But this stock clip is actually really good for this knife. It's low profile. It just was a little bit annoying as a lefty at first, but it seems like it's fine. So I'm going to get this out to Casey. If you guys want to watch his videos on it, check it out at Knives Fast. And let me know what you guys think. I love it. I think you should go get one if you guys have been looking at slip joints and you're not sure if you want to try them, and you know, you don't want to spend $300 on a Jack Wolf, but you want premium materials. This is $140 in M390 in titanium. I mean, that's an absolute steal in my opinion. This is one of the best deals of the year, and you get a slick slip joint, and I believe they're still available right now. So check it out. I believe it's surgeknife.com, something like that. I'll link it down below. I have no affiliation with Surge. I've never actually even talked to Surge. I just love this here slip joint. So that is the Slip 7. I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.